They thought humiliating her in front of 200 students would break her, until she stood up, smiled, and revealed a truth that flipped their entire world upside down. If you want more jaw-dropping stories like this, make sure to subscribe now. Fire. The chaos began the moment 17-year-old Arya Lynn stepped into the central courtyard of Silvercrest High, a place where the polished floors and towering marble columns were meant to symbolize prestige but had instead become a battleground for the privileged, the cruel, and the ruthless. And on that bright Monday morning, when the sun was too warm and the air too still, she knew something was wrong the instant the crowd began forming a wide ring around her. Whispers flickered like sparks, rising into a wildfire of mockery as the reigning tyrants of the senior class, Tessa Vale and her entourage, emerged with smug smirks, their designer heels clacking sharply against the stone-like countdown ticks to an execution. And yet Arya, freshly reborn into this world after her tragic past life, breathed steadily because she already knew what was coming, had lived through it once, and this time she wasn't the same girl who had swallowed humiliation in silence. She was different, upgraded, awakened, and she had 3 secret weapons: her rebirth-gifted ability to read intentions, and the even more terrifying fact that her 3 adoptive brothers, Noah, Adrian, and Kale, were secretly CEOs who adored her deeply and could read her mind due to the mysterious cosmic bond formed during her death and rebirth, giving them not only access to her fears but to every scheme plotted against her, though no one at school had any idea. The first slap came like a blade of sound, slicing through the courtyard, Tessa's palm cracking against Arya's cheek so loudly that several freshmen gasped and a few teachers froze mid-step, unsure whether to intervene. Arya's head jerked to the side, her long dark hair whipping across her face, and the crowd's echoing, "Oh!" rolled through the space like a wave. In her previous life, that slap had destroyed her, shattering her confidence, leading to the downward spiral orchestrated by these same bullies, ending in betrayal, expulsion, and ultimately, death. But in this life, this second chance, Arya lifted her gaze slowly, deliberately, and smiled, a calm, knowing smile that sent a sudden chill crawling up the backs of every onlooker, because it wasn't the smile of a victim, but the smile of someone holding a detonator. And before Tessa could react, Arya spoke, not loudly, not angrily, but with a serene clarity that carried effortlessly across the courtyard. "Thank you for confirming everything I already knew. Now watch how quickly your world collapses." The crowd stirred in confusion, but inside her mind, her brothers' voices erupted simultaneously. Noah, the cold finance prodigy, whispering, "We're on our way." Adrian, the media empire CEO, snarling, "They touched you. They're done." And Kale, the tech magnate with a terrifying calmness, simply stating, "Every camera caught it." Perfect. Arya didn't even have to say anything back, they heard her thoughts as clearly as she felt their fury. Tessa stumbled backward, thrown off by Arya's composure, and attempted to regain dominance with a smirk, but her confidence wavered when Arya tilted her head, eyes narrowing ever so slightly as she said, "You should really thank your mother for the donations she made to hide your last scandal, pity they won't stay hidden today." Gasps broke out, Tessa's face drained of color. She thought no one knew about the incident that occurred last winter, the one that her mother, a corrupt socialite with connections, buried with hush money and intimidation. Arya had suffered because of that scandal in the previous life, but this time, she remembered every detail. When Tessa lunged again, raising her hand for another slap, Arya stepped forward so smoothly, so unexpectedly, that Tessa faltered mid-movement, losing balance as Arya whispered loud enough for everyone to hear, "Try it again. I dare you." The crowd erupted in whispers. This wasn't how victims behaved. This wasn't how Arya behaved. Something was different. Something was dangerous. And then the first twist hit. The giant LED screen above the courtyard, typically used for school announcements, flickered to life with a loud static buzz, and every student spun upward in confusion as images began flashing across it. Photos, screenshots, chat logs, videos, all evidence of Tessa's bullying, extortion, sabotage, and the scandal her family buried. The courtyard fell dead silent. Students stared in disbelief. Teachers gasped. Tessa's knees buckled. But Arya hadn't touched anything. She simply smiled because she already knew Kale had hacked the system the moment he sensed her distress. "You're welcome," Kale murmured in her mind. Tessa screamed, lunging at Arya with feral desperation, but before she could reach her, a sleek black helicopter appeared over the school, its blades chopping through the air as the courtyard exploded into shrieks and chaos, students scattering, teachers panicking, alarms blaring. Arya remained perfectly still. She had expected this. The helicopter landed on the rooftop helipad, and moments later, 3 figures descended the staircase leading to the courtyard, men so intimidating, so powerful, and so breathtakingly composed that the atmosphere shifted instantly. Noah, the eldest, wore a charcoal suit that could freeze time with its authority. Adrian, middle brother, wore stylish casual wear, his aura sharp and dangerous. Cale, the youngest, had glasses and a calm expression that made him look harmless until you remembered he had just hijacked every screen on campus. The students stared in stunned disbelief as whispers shot like sparks. Are they models? No. Wait. That's Noah Lin, the CEO of Lin Global Holdings. And Adrian Lin from Zenith Media. Cale Lin, the tech billionaire hacker prodigy. Tessa's entourage shrieked in terror. Teachers paled. The principal nearly fainted. And Arya, she simply locked eyes with her brothers, whose murderous fury softened the moment they looked at her swollen cheek. Noah was the first to reach her, gently cupping her face as he asked in a dangerous whisper, "Who touched you?" Before she answered, Adrian grabbed Tessa by the collar, lifting her off the ground like she weighed nothing, his voice dripping venom as he growled, "You thought slapping her would make you powerful. Let me show you real power." Tessa sobbed. Cale, meanwhile, tapped his phone, sending every shred of evidence to the police, the school board, the media, and every parent in the district. Arya could feel their thoughts weaving into hers, anger, protectiveness, love, and an unwavering determination to rewrite her destiny. But she wasn't done yet. This was her rebirth, her redemption, her justice. So Arya stepped forward, touching Adrian's arm lightly so he released Tessa, who collapsed on the ground trembling. Arya crouched beside her former tormentor, meeting her eyes with a steady gaze. "In my past life," she whispered, "you destroyed me. But in this one, I get to choose." Tessa whimpered, expecting revenge, expecting humiliation, but Arya shook her head. "I don't need to hurt you," she said softly. "Your own actions already did." And as if on cue, police sirens wailed in the distance, Cale's doing, and Tessa's world crumbled. But the real twist still awaited. Because as the police approached, another group pushed through the gates, led by none other than Headmaster Rowan, the man who had betrayed Arya in her last life, conspiring in the bullying cover-up due to bribes and favoritism. In this life, Arya remembered everything he'd done, but what he didn't know was that her brothers knew too, because they had heard her memories the moment she was reborn. Noah stepped forward, his voice cold enough to freeze bone. "Headmaster Rowan. We need to talk about your involvement." Rowan opened his mouth to deny everything, when suddenly the courtyard speakers crackled, and a recorded audio file began playing. Rowan accepting bribes, mocking victims, admitting to cheating the scholarship system, and even plotting to frame Arya later that year. Adrian smirked, arms crossed. "We have all of it. And the media is already waiting outside." Rowan collapsed as police swarmed him too. The courtyard erupted into chaos again, but this time it was a chaos of exposed truth, justice, consequences. And Arya, standing in the center, felt something inside her soul uncoil. Her past life's chains snapping. But the final twist came when a girl from the crowd stepped forward, Eva Park, the quiet class monitor who in Arya's past life had betrayed her, joining the bullies in the end, leading to Arya's downfall. Arya expected the old betrayal, expected the knife in the back, but Eva fell to her knees instead, tears streaming, whispering, "I remember." Arya froze. Noah stiffened. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Cale lowered his glasses. Eva looked up desperately. "I died too," she whispered. "I was reborn. I tried to avoid you this life so I wouldn't repeat my mistakes, but I couldn't stop them." Arya's heart slammed. Someone else reborn. The future wasn't just changed, it was shattered. Different. Unpredictable. The bullies destroyed. The truth exposed. And standing in the courtyard, Arya realized her rebirth wasn't just about survival, it was about altering destiny itself. And with her CEO brothers beside her, brothers who could read her mind, protect her future, and destroy anyone who threatened her, she knew one thing for certain: this was only the beginning.